So you love golf, you want to improve, but you don't have a ton of time to practice out of the range or be able to golf. Here's a couple things that you can do at home, and you don't need a fancy simulator and you don't need a launch monitor to improve your game so you can lower your scores when you get out to the golf course. So I've got a foam ball, I've got foot spray, and I've got some tape. So you're at home and you want to get better at golf. We're going to use these 3 items to get better, and then a 4th little bit of a, let's say, trick from an online coach to you to get better at golf. First things first is the foam ball. You can order foam balls off Amazon, get them in any golf store. They are an amazing tool because guess what? You don't need a launch monitor and you don't need an expensive net to hit into them. You can hit these balls into a bed sheet just hung up on a clothesline, if you still have one of those, or a couple chairs in your backyard, or some alignment sticks that you stick just into the ground. That is going to allow you to make full swings hitting a foam ball at different speeds, which we'll cover in just a second, to play better golf. Now, so what we can do with the foam ball? Well, we can use the Dr. Scholl's foot spray. We can spray the face. Once we spray the face up, it's going to chalk up. Now you can hit a shot. Let's say your tendency is maybe you hit shanks, all right? You swing up to the top, you swing down, and you hit it out of the heel. You don't like that? Well, where does that show? Well, it shows that I smashed that right into the heel. This is a great way of doing some variable training. All right, well, if I hit it out of the heel, can I hit it out of the toe? Again, with the foam balls, it's still gonna pick up your strike location. We could swing up to the top, swing down through, and we hit it out of the toe. Then the foam ball is just gonna get caught either into a bed sheet, or if you have a fairly long backyard, you can just hit them in the backyard. Where did we hit that one? Out of the toe. This is a great way to work on your strike. We've got your tendency. Can we work away from it so then we can hit it in the middle of the club face? Again, we've got just foam balls. We're hitting into a bed sheet. We've got our strike indicated by the spray foam. We've got what we want. We've got our movement away from that, and then can we just hit it out of the middle of the club face? We combine those 3 feels. We've got your tendency, we've got working away from it, and then we've got a strike dead in the middle. This is a great drill that you can do at home to improve your strike so you want to get onto the golf course. Again, foam balls into a bed sheet. Perfect. And you can work on that as well with your driver, with the balls as well. Now, second thing that we can work on, let's grab the masking tape. Let's say you're struggling with some low point in your game out on the golf course. We just ripped some of this masking tape off. And again, you can use a smaller one if you want. For me, if I set this up on my hitting strip, it's a little too much AstroTurf. And so it's not gonna quite stick. But if I stick it right here on this mat. Now, let's say out on the golf course, if you are someone who hits it heavy, you're gonna peel this mat off the ground, or you're gonna hit back and behind it, just like that. That means I've struck in the ground behind it and peeled that masking tape. We don't want that. That's garbage. Not good. Now, what we want is we wanna rip a new piece. We wanna lay that down right where the golf ball would go. And we want to just place that in there. Now, all we're trying to do is bottom out the club on the far side of this tape, getting comfortable. And again, it doesn't need to be fast at the beginning. You can get comfortable. Okay, what does it really feel like to get that in front of that tape over and over and over again? Again, you can practice a ton with this. Now, we've got that. Guess what? You can grab another foam ball. If you throw that foam ball in front of that line, can I now strike that foam ball and not the tape? Just getting comfortable. Okay, as I work up to the top, swinging down, I want to be able to collect that foam ball and not peel the tape up. Awesome. We've got now low point, and we can make a full golf swing with the foam ball. Now, the next thing that we can do is we can take that same tape. We can rip 2 lines of that tape off. If we lay these down, we're gonna create a little corridor for us to swing through. And again, no golf ball needed right now, but if you wanted to, you could most definitely use a foam ball. We've created this little corridor. Now, all we wanna do is we wanna feel like we're bringing that club through that corridor as we strike in front of this little line, getting up to the top, feeling like I wanna strike in front of that little piece of tape, feeling like I wanna swing my club through that corridor. Again, great drill. If you want to swing in to out, take those, tilt them a little bit to the right. If you want to swing out in, tilt them a bit to the left. And you can do that same thing. If you don't have turf and you got grass, grab the foot spray. You can spray that down. It's going to create this little line on the ground. And now you can create that same little pattern in the grass. Just getting comfortable swinging down in the front of that little line. As you swing down, feeling like you're swinging through that little gate. It's a perfect way to practice. Again, don't need a ball. If you want to have a foam ball, you can use that too. It's a great way to do it at home. And then one of my favorite ways to practice, and I did this myself last winter, and I'm going to do it again this winter, constantly working on changing some patterns in my swing. Now, in order to do that, you need to be able to make some slow motions. You need to get good feedback. Traditionally, people have done what is considered mirror work. Mirror work is where you would set up a mirror back behind you, and while you're making your swings, you would watch yourself, but looking at the mirror. I'm not a big fan of that because your head is not down where it should be when you're watching the golf ball. So what I really like is zooming yourself. So I've got my phone just set up down the line, and I can put a tablet out in front of me. So now I can watch myself make some air swings. And this is super important in order to get some feels versus reels in real time. Again, you don't have to do this at full speed, and it's really hard to watch yourself at full speed, but you can go, all right, here's my normal takeaway. Oh, that feels good, but that's a really far inside takeaway. Well, what does it feel like to get that club up more on plane? Okay, that's not enough still. Okay, all right, so that's what that needs to feel like. And again, I'm just doing this slow to start, and then I increase the speed. Here's the best bit. After you get pretty comfortable doing this at slower speeds, just air swings, guess what? Now you can grab those foam balls again, and we can use those. Of course, put it away from me. Last thing I would want you to do is to break your iPad. But now we can watch ourselves in slow motion, make the swings that we need to ingrain new motor patterns as we go. And then you can just increase the speed. Probably around 25, 40% speed, somewhere in there. You're no longer going to really be able to watch that and make a full swing. At that point, then you're going to have to switch the video. But this is a great way to change patterns in real time to get your feel versus reel closer together so you can improve your swing. So again, to recap, we've got foam balls, super important. You can basically practice all the time at home, hitting them into a bed sheet or just a cheap net off Amazon again. Then we've got strike location with some foot spray, low point, and then same thing with low point or maybe some club pass stuff with some tape. This is easy ways that you can practice at home to improve so that when you go out to the golf course, you're already playing better golf without having to spend hours on the driving range, and you can do this at home. And remember, you can always find me on the Skills app. I'd love to help you out with one-on-one coaching. But if you want just a simple video of how to hit either a draw, a straight shot, or a fade, please comment below ball flights and I'll send you that free video. Otherwise, you can check a couple other videos that I have, and always you can send in the comments as well what you'd like me to cover. I'd love to make a video for you so you can play better golf.